Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be showing you how I made this very easy Bubu gown with center ruched. So let's get started. So I'll be using this Adire silk. It's a 4 yards of Adire fabric. So what I'll do, I'm going to fold it into two equal half. That's the two edge. I'm picking the two edge together like this. Then I'll fold it into two. After folding it into two, I'll refold it. I'll double fold it because I'm cutting the front and the back together. So I'm going to place them together like so. Then I'll place it this way. Then I'll take the full length. The full length I'm working with is 60 inches. So I have 60 inches here. Then I'll be adding 2 inches for seam allowance. So this is the 2 inches I'm adding for the seam allowance. I'll be cutting it out later on. So I'm cutting the front and the back together. Remember, it's on a fold. This is the shoulder line. Then I'll take the neck width. I'm using 4 inches for the neck width here. Then after doing that, I'll take the shoulder width. The shoulder width is 16. 16 divided by 2 will give us 8 inches. Then from the shoulder width, I'll take the sleeve length. It's a cut together sleeve. So I'm using everything I have here. I have about 16.5 inches. So I'll come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope here. Then I'll connect it straight down to the neck width. Then after doing that, from the shoulder here, I'm going to take the shoulder to knee length. The shoulder to knee length is 39 inches. I'm going to place it here. I'll take a straight line. After doing this, I'm going to place the hip circumference on the knee length. That's the hip divided by 4. The hip is 42. 42 divided by 4 will give us 10.5. I'll place the 10.5 here. Then I'm going to add 2 inches for ease. Then I'll add 1 inch for seam allowance here. So after doing that, I'll come back to the sleeve. To get the sleeve round from this point, I'm going to take 10 or 10.5. So I'll just use 10 inches for the sleeve. That's the sleeve, where the sleeve will be 10 inches. Remember I said it's a cut together sleeve. So from this 10 inches, I'll come in by 1 inch here. So after doing that, from the seam allowance here, I'm going to connect it to the sleeve by making a curve like this. As you can see, it's not a straight line, it's a curved line. So I'll connect it straight down to the sleeve here. That's this part I took the sleeve. So I'll reshape it all the way down back to the seam allowance on the knee line. So on this point, I'll curve it so that it will not be sharp on the knee point. So I'm trying to shape it so that the mark will show. Now the next thing I'll do on the full length, what I have on the knee length here, the measurement I have here, I have about 14 inches. So I'm going to add 2 inches extra. That will be 16 inches. Then I'll place it on the full length. For ease, so that you can walk properly, I added 2 inches extra. So I'm going to take a straight line from the full length down to the knee length like this. So this is the curve we made, as you can see. What I'll do, I'll cut it from here. From this 1 inch I came in, I'll cut it from here down to the full length. Now I'll cut out the shoulder slope. So I forgot to draft the neckline. So remember we took 4 inches for our neck width. So now I'll take, for the back neckline, for the back depth, I'll take 3 inches for the back depth. Then for the front depth, I'll use 6 inches here. So I'll use my pattern master to curve the front neckline like this. It's a V-neck. So I'm trying to get it properly. Now I'll curve the back neckline The back neckline is a round neckline. So now this is our back and this is our front. So I'll first of all cut out the back neckline. After doing that, I'm going to cut out the sides, the side seam, to get our curve. From this point, I'll start cutting it like this, straight down. So now I'll separate the front from the back. So this is the back, I'll keep it aside, and this is the front. So I'm going to cut the front neckline like so. So this is our V shape. So I'm going to open it up. Remember I told you it's a ruched dress. So on the center, it's going to have a casing here. I'm going to place a casing on the center line. So from the neckline here to the full length, I have about 56 inches. So I'll be using 56 inches to cut out the case for the dress, and I'll be cutting facing for the neckline also. So this is the facing for the neckline. This is the front facing and the back facing. I added interfacing to it, that is hairstay, so that it will make it look nice on the neckline. Then I've gone ahead to cut out the casing. I made it 2.5 inches. That is the width, is 2.5 inches. So I folded it by ½ inch on both sides, and I'm left with 1.5 inches. So this is the 1.5 inches. I made this 58 inches, that is 2 inches extra. So for the strip, I made it 1.5 inches, that is the width. So I'm going to fold it this way, and I'll refold it like so. Then I'll double fold it here, and I'll make sure I sew it by ½ inch. I'll show you later when I'm done. Then on the neckline, I'm going to place the casing, making sure it's on the center line here. So the casing, I folded both sides by ½ inch. So I'll make sure I get the center line. Then I'll place it here. That is, I'm sewing it on the wrong side of the dress. So I'll sew it by ½ inch on this side to the full length, and I'll do the same thing on the other side by ½ inch to the full length. And I'll also sew on the center straight down to the full length. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew it. As you can see, this is the sides, the two sides, and this is the center where the strip will pass through. So I fixed it on the wrong side, so this is the right side. So this is how it looks. Now I'll be fixing the strip on the casing. I'll be using a safety pin to tuck it in. So this is the safety pin. I'm going to pin it from the edge here. Then I'll tuck it in on the full length. That's on the lower side of the dress. So I'll tuck it in. So I'll pull it out on the neck like this. So this is it. I'll do the same thing for the second casing. I'll pin the second strip on it, and I'll tuck it in. So I'll make sure I leave about ½ inch on the neck here so that it doesn't pull out. So make sure you hold it so that it doesn't pull out with maybe a pin. So I'll place the facing on the neckline, that is good side facing good side. Then I'll sew it by ½ inch here all the way around. I'll do the same thing for the back. So on the back piece, I'll place the facing, the back neckline, good side facing the good side. Then I'll sew it round. So guys, I've fixed the front neckline with the facing. So as you can see, our strip is covered. Then on the back, I've also joined the facing to the back neckline. So now I'll be joining the good side of the front to the good side of the back. So I'll open up the facing on the shoulder seam here like this. Then I'll make sure the front and the back are aligning, and I'll pin it up. Then I'll be sewing it here by ½ inch. I'll sew it to the sleeve length here. After doing that, I'll do the same thing on the other side. Open it up like this, front and back facing each other. Then I'm going to sew it by 1/2 inch from here all the way down to the sleeve. So guys, I've joined the shoulder to the sleeve. I did the same thing on the other side. So this is the shoulder, this is the facing. So this is our sleeve. Now I'll be joining the side seam. From this point, this is where our sleeve is. I'll curve it, I'll sew it by 1/2 inch all the way. I'll continue sewing it till I get to the full length here. I'll do the same thing on the other side. So guys, I've joined the two sides. So this is our shoulder, this is the side seam. So on the wrong side of the dress, so this is where I stitched on the shoulder. Then on the side, this is the curve I made. I stitch it all the way down. So now the next thing we'll be doing is to hem the sleeve. So on the sleeve, I'll be folding it by 1/2 inch like this. After folding it, I'll double fold it again. I'm folding it into 2, then I'll sew it by 1/2 inch all around. So on the full length, remember we left 2 inches for seam allowance. So I stopped the casing before the 2 inches for seam allowance here. So what I'll do, I'm going to fold it like this. I'll fold it this way, then I'll refold it again like so. Then I'll top stitch on it here. I'll top stitch here by 1/2 inch. I'll continue where this stitch is. I'll do the same thing on the other side and on the center. So guys, before sewing the hemline, I'm going to pin this side up. So I'll be sewing it before I sew the hemline. So this is where I'll be stitching. I'll stitch both sides here and on the center, making sure I don't sew on the strip. Then I'll pull it away like so. Then I'm going to fold it by 1/2 inch. That's the hemline. Then I'll refold it by 1.5 inches. So I'll do the same thing here. I'll fold it by 1/2 inch and I'll refold it by 1.5 inches and I'll sew it all the way around. So I'm sewing the sleeve and the full length. So guys, we are done. So this is the sleeve. As you can see, it's looking very neat. And this is the second sleeve. So I hemmed it by 1/2 inch. So I've also hemmed the full length. Then on the casing, this is the part I stitched. So this is where I folded it inside. Then I stitched on the middle. So this strip can easily go in and out. Now I'll take it to the ironing table and I'll give it a good press. We're actually done with these tutorials. I hope it was helpful. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, and give it a thumbs up. Thanks to all my subscribers. Thanks for all the support. I really do appreciate. Bye for now. See you in my next video.